In the last lecture, we have seen a scope of homeopathic pharmacy in relation to materia medica. How the materia medica and homeopathic pharmacy, they are related, that we have seen by taking certain examples. So by sources of drug, we know the nature of medicine. Second, we have seen the different factors, how they are helpful while prescribing the patient a proper medicine, a proper potency, and all these knowledges we are getting from the drug proving. We know the importance of prescription also and the doctrine of signature. So all these factors we are getting from the homeopathic pharmacy, and then it is important for the homeopathic materia medica. So this materia medica and the pharmacy, they are the integral part of the homeopathy. All these knowledges we are getting from the homeopathic pharmacy. Today we will see the scope of homeopathic pharmacy in relation to national economy. How we are helping our national economy, how we are adding certain things in our national economy. So in the national economy, this national economy is especially related to the two factors. So first one is the national wealth, and second one is the per capita income of the patient. In the developed countries, the government spend 9 to 10% of its gross national productivity for the medical facilities, while in a developing country like India, only 2 to 4% of NGP, that is the gross national productivity, is spent on the medical facilities. Out of this, 2 to 4% of GNP. So we have to increase our medical facilities to the patient. Around 85% of this is for the allopath, around 12% only for the homeopath, and 13% for other system of medicine. This money is spent by government on hospital infrastructure by giving the certain medicines, then diagnostic kits. All the things are available, but how much? Only about 12% to us and 85% to the allopathy. Around the 12% of this homeopathy, we are not having a much equipments. We do not require anything as that of the allopathy. We only require the simple medicines. For Medicare demands, for Medicare, demand for all these facilities are increasing day by day because of more aging population and more awareness of people towards the health. Nowadays, what happened, because of the science and the technology, the life expectancy increases, and hence the we know, because of the trained technical staff or personally requisite medicines, the life expectancy increases. Aging process is postponed nowadays. People are more aware about the health, about the medicine, how the medicine are important, or how our immunity should be maintained. This is important, and hence if we can attract more and more people towards the homeopathy, then we can reduce the expenditure or expenditure on health by the government, because most of the things, they are depend upon our health, because health is wealth. If the government is spending so much money, about 85% if it is related allopathy and 12% is related to the homeopathy. So if this percent from this GNP, if it is get vested, we can say only on the health, then we cannot uh, do the speedy क्या बोलते हैं उसको, हम अच्छे से प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर सकते हैं अगर इतना पैसा अगर हेल्थ में अगर खर्च होता है तो. सो वी हैव टू decrease this. We have to decrease the demands for the facilities, and this is now a chance to us to aware the goodness of the homeopathy. So जो 12% होता है हम पर, तो वो बच सके, so that we can use this money on the different projects. We can reduce the health care expenditure, because in the homeopathy we only require the small things as compared to the allopathy. So we know that our medicines are less costly. The vehicles are also, they are not much costly. Method of preparation is very simple. We do not require any expenditure on that. Application of medicine is again a simpler one. Packaging of material is again a simple. We can keep the medicine for the longer duration because it can retain its medicinal property for a longer period. Single medicine and a few doses are used, so no side effects for that. So if we adopt homeopathy, we can reduce the cost on national economy and can reduce the burden on economy, because as I have told previously, the economy is depends upon the two factors: national wealth and a per capita income. The population of India day by day it is increases due to the economic development. The living condition improves, and the medical facilities help a more objectionable resulting in the decrease of the death. So if the death rate is increases, that means the population is increased, and at the same time there is an increase of the birth rate, and this leads to the increase of the population of the India. So uh, the poverty line that is defined by the government in the 1960 to 61, at present that poverty line is not exist. Now the life expectancy increases, and financial power of the people also increases. Due to this poverty, there is a lack of capital, which prevents the expansion of our national income. लेकिन एक तरफ क्या हो रहा है, बिकॉज ऑफ द नॉट टेकिंग द प्रॉपर एजुकेशन, some people they are again under the poverty line. So in that poverty what happened, they are not having the education regarding the academic, they are not having the proper knowledge of medicine, they are not having the proper knowledge of hygiene also. So एक तरफ क्या हो रहा है कि some people they are getting all the things and now they are progressing, but at the same time the certain people do not want to do anything. And because of what, the poverty line as it is, poverty line के नीचे भी अभी भी कुछ group है, and because of what they require the money, and the government is giving them the money, and hence the national income जो है वो उन पे कुछ परसेंटेज में खर्च हो जाता है. अवर इकोनॉमी पहले से ही अनस्टेबल है. सबसे पहले हमारे यहाँ पे हुआ था वर्ल्ड वार, उसके बाद रिफ्यूजी का टेंशन था, देन उसके बाद मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज जो है वो हमको बढ़ानी पड़ी, एंड इन दिस वे द नेशनल इकोनॉमी, वो पैसे ऐसे सेव ही नहीं हुए हैं देश के. बिसाइड्स दिस इंटरनेशनल क्राइसिस जो भी हुए हैं उसकी वजह से, all these factors not only have shaken our economy but also the people. Due to the insufficient wealth, our foreign exchange resources is utilized to meet different emergencies, resulting in inflation, which became a prominent one in our economy. So inflation की वजह से and we are spending the more money on the people for the poverty or for the medical facilities. We are not having a strong economy. To combat the shortfall, we have to depend on manpower, which including the technical knowledge and the national resources. The primary and essential duty of government is to provide the minimum health coverage to the people by arranging to prevent diseases and supply all requirements to cure diseases. Nowadays, we are facing the same thing because of the pandemic. Our all money that we have collected from the tax from the people, that tax we are generally utilizing for the infrastructure of the India. The government constructing the pools, government constructing the different road. सो जो मनी गवर्नमेंट के पास कलेक्ट हो गया था बाय द कलेक्शन ऑफ द टैक्स, हर एक जो हम टैक्स भरते हैं, रोड टैक्स भरते हैं, घर का टैक्स भरते हैं, सो इनकम टैक्स जो हम भरते हैं, सो द मनी जो गवर्नमेंट के पास जमा हो जाती है फ्रॉम द different people, though those are paying the tax regularly, so the government is utilizing this money for the betterment of India. तो वो कंस्ट्रक्शन में काम में यूज़ करते हैं, मेडिकल फील्ड में यूज़ करते हैं, न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलपमेंट के लिए यूज़ करते हैं, फॉर द इसरो के लिए यूज़ करते हैं. सो वी आर यूटिलाइजिंग दिस मनी ऑन द डिफरेंट डिफरेंट सेक्टर. एजुकेशन के लिए हम यूज़ करते हैं. सो इफ लेकिन अभी क्या हो गया है कि द गवर्नमेंट इज कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग ओनली ऑन द पैंडेमिक. बाकी के सब काम रुक गए हैं बिकॉज दिस कोरोना इज द प्रायोरिटी. सो जो फंड जमा हुआ था गवर्नमेंट के पास, नाउ वी आर यूटिलाइजिंग दैट फंड ओनली फॉर द कोरोना. We are purchasing the ventilators. The government is purchasing different kits for the sensitivity and the positivity of that coronavirus. Then the government is purchasing the different medicines from the other countries. Antiviral drugs they are purchasing. Then we are providing the more number of beds. Then the government is providing the free medicines, one the vitamins or the certain tonics also the government is giving free. The some government they are giving the injections also free to the people. So in this way जो fund जमा हुआ था for each state, they are now utilizing only for the pandemic, कि जो दूसरे कामों के लिए यूज होना चाहिए था लेकिन वो नहीं हो रहा है बिकॉज द प्रायोरिटी इज द पैंडेमिक. तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए बिकॉज नाउ दिस इज अ वन साइडेड. सब जो सब के सब दे आर कॉन्सेंट्रेटिंग ऑन द पैंडेमिक. एजुकेशन में कुछ काम हो रहा है, अपने भी एग्जाम्स रुके हुई है, वी आर नाउ इन डायलेमा की एग्जाम्स कब होगी. सेकेंड थिंग इज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वर्क इज ऑल्सो नॉट गोइंग ऑन. Third thing is that new things we are not doing at all in our country. We are only concentrating on the corona. So under such conditions, the government is now supplying all the money for that medical field. In this context, homeopathy can play an important role for this two essential factors. First one is we can give a trained technical medical staff, and second thing is that we can give the requisite amount of medicine. So how we are helping this national economy? Because we know our medicines they are having long shelf life. They are less costly. The vehicles can be used which are again less costly. The source of requisite medicine in the pharmaceutical manufacturing concern may be either public or in the private sector. In homeopathy, with the least expenditure, requisite medicine can be served to a patient. Not only the cheapness but its efficacy has also been established clinically. Preparation of medicine is easy and simple. Beside this, most of the homeopathic drugs, they have a capability to grow or to collect in different meteorological conditions, for which the government exchange has to spend a minimum amount. So गवर्नमेंट एक्सचेंज यानी हम फॉरेन से कम इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. वी आर टेकिंग द सोर्सेस ओनली फ्रॉम द इंडिया. Almost 85% of sources of necessary drugs can be procured and may be manufactured at comparatively much less cost and without drainage of precautious foreign exchange. If these indigenous sources and material and unexplored talents be properly utilized, homeopathy shall never be burden on economy. So most of the time you have seen that कि the homeopathy के जो drugs है, they are very cheap, but at the same time they are very efficacious or they are more important than the allopathy. सो अभी भी जैसे हम कोविड के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, so in the pandemic also the certain people they are taking the homeopathic drug with that allopathy. If the patient is in a mild condition, then that patient can take the homeopathic medicine and can be a way of recovery. But if that patient is having the severe symptoms such as breathlessness, or they want the ventilator or the oxygen, then in these cases also the homeopathy can be useful. So we have to aware the people the usefulness of the homeopathy, because our plants are indigenous, they are not the export. Most of the things we are getting from our country also, and that's why the foreign exchange is less. Now, the homeopathy has gradually proved its efficacy in different parts of the world and in the different diseases. If properly nourished, this system of medicine will be expanded as there is an ample scope. Under these circumstances, homeopathy may even be helpful in earning foreign money for India. So we are expending less, but we can help for the ब्रिंगिंग द मनी, क्योंकि हमको तो चाहिए फॉरेन एक्सचेंज, हमको चाहिए, हमको देना नहीं है, हमको लाना है. So in this way, if you can do the proper homeopathy and if you are in a position to aware the people, then the scenario can be a reverse. We can use our medicines instead of the other countries' medicine, or so that the government will not have any burden. So in this way, we can help our national economy by homeopathy. And the third thing is the scope of homeopathic pharmacy in relation to organon of medicine. We know we are not having a separate book, but we are always depend upon the organon of medicine. So this organon of medicine is the core of whole homeopathy. Without the knowledge of organon, a subject like pharmacy could not understand completely, because pharmacy itself is originated from organon. In the beginning, Dr. Hahnemann was writing his work in the form of organon. So organon means a scientific or the systematic way of discovering the certain norms. So here we are the scientific investigation करते हैं हम किसका, medicine का, that is the organon. And in that he also describe about the methods of drug preparation, mode of dispensing, method of drug proving, and the knowledge of posology. So we have seen it in every chapter. We have mentioned the aphorism number in which all the things are given. Later on, his work regarding this topic may be a separate branch of homeopathic pharmacy. So this knowledge is we are getting it only from the aphorisms. In the organon aphorism 264 to 284, they are related to the genuine medicine, sources of drug, preparation of medicine. So earlier also we have seen what are the sources: organ of medicine, lesser writing, chronic diseases, materia medica pura. So from which we form our homeopathic pharmacy. But at the same time, this homeopathic pharmacy is also giving the helpful knowledge to the materia medica also. So in the aphorism number 264 and 265, Dr. Hahnemann said that a physician must be provided a genuine medicine, because at that time, जब Hahnemann के time पे we are not having any standardization techniques. We do not have any machines. We do not have any assays or the assessment test, so that we can standardize that medicine, we can check the quality of that medicine. इसलिए उन्होंने क्या कहा है कि जो सप्लायर है, जो मेडिसिन तैयार करता है, उसने ही जेन्युइनली मेडिसिन फिजिशियन को देनी है, सो दैट दैट अनपेयर्ड स्ट्रेंथ, यानी जो स्ट्रेंथ है मेडिसिन की, विच इज नॉट अडल्टरेटेड, विच इज नॉट the passive one, it should be given to the physician, so that he will able to cure that patient properly. He is totally depending upon the therapeutic value of that medicine. So we have to give them a genuine medicine, क्योंकि तब इतने टेक्निक्स नहीं थे. लेकिन आज we are having the so many techniques to identify the purity of medicine. We are doing the quality check from the drug sample up to the potency. हर सब जगह पे we are doing standardization and the quality checking. So we are getting the genuine medicine. लेकिन इसमें भी obstacle to cure आप देखे होंगे कि there are the three things which obstruct the cure. First thing is the improper handling by the pharmacist. Second thing is that if the preservation is not proper, and the third thing is that if the physician is not handling the medicine properly, and of course the one thing on the patient, the patient is not taking the medicine properly. So all these factors may lead to the obstacle to cure. So उसमें से you will see all the things in the second and the third year in the philosophy. What are the factors which obstruct the cure? And so here Dr. Hahnemann has given, उन्होंने पहले से इंट्यूशन उनका हुआ होगा शायद कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ आगे जाके हो सकती है, इसलिए उन्होंने पहले ही बोल दिया कि द फार्मासिस्ट या जो सप्लायर है, दे शुड प्रोवाइड विद द जेन्युइन मेडिसिन. और उनके टाइम में द फिजिशियंस दे आर प्रिपेयरिंग देयर ओन मेडिसिन्स इन देयर ओन बैकयार्ड. उनकी ही अगर आप कहीं अगर बायोग्राफी मिलती है डॉक्टर हनीमन की, या अगर आपके पास गूगल पे अगर आप सर्च करते हो, देन ऑन देयर बैकयार्ड दे आर हैविंग अ स्मॉल गार्डन फॉर द, और वी कैन से दैट हर्बल गार्डन इज देयर. सो डॉक्टर हनीमन जितना प्लांट्स हो सके उतना वहाँ पे उन्होंने ग्रो किया था, and he is using that plants, he is making the mother tincture and doing the potentization on that. So they are the genuine medicines. But after that, the certain physicians or the pioneers or the follower, they are also doing the same thing. But as the day passes, we have seen the Schwabe has estimated the first homeopathic pharmacy in Germany. After that, the other companies are also start developing. And what happened there? The interference of the human being now increases. The quantity and the demand for the homeopathic medicine increases, and in this way the genuineness of the medicine कहीं तो भी फिर वो कम हो गई है. इसीलिए डॉक्टर हनीमन ने कहा है कि the physician has to be fully satisfied and उसको आपको genuine medicine ही देनी है, so that he can give a proper recovery to the patient, because he is the only responsible for the recovery of the patient. The physician must be provided with genuine medicine, so that he can able to rely upon the therapeutic power, because this is only the weapon by which we are now treating the patient. We can able to treat that natural disease by a good manner. Then in the crude state, medicines are more potent. That is given in the aphorism number 266. In the aphorism number 265, before that, he said that he, the physician, be thoroughly convinced in every case that the patient always takes the right medicine. जैसे मैंने पहले बोला था obstacle to cure में कि पेशेंट कभी कभी गलत हो जाता है, तो ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस में भी द हैंडलिंग इम्प्रॉपर हो सकता है फार्मासिस्ट से, या इम्प्रॉपर हैंडलिंग बाय द फिजिशियन, या प्रिजर्वेशन में, और एक फैक्टर जाता है पेशेंट की तरफ. सो इफ द पेशेंट इज ऑल्सो नॉट using that medicine properly, then also this will leads to the obstruction to the cure. Therefore the patient must use that medicine correctly. The physician has to give the proper instruction to the patient that is given in the aphorism number 265. In the 266, medicinal substances belonging to vegetable and animal kingdom possesses their medicinal property from their raw state. So we know that the crude drug substances, they are having the medicinal property. We only have, what we are doing, we are arousing that, we are activating that capacity by the potentization. Now in the aphorism number 267 and 268, in these two aphorisms, Dr. Hahnemann gave a suggestion for the medicine preparation from different kinds of plants. Like in aphorism number 267 and its footnote, he classified the plants into the 4 groups according to the availability of the juice in plant of drug material. So we know this, that is the old method of preparation of mother tincture. So all this information is given in the aphorism number 267. तो उसमें से हमने वो information लेके homeopathic pharmacy की book में copy paste की है. So they are more juicy, most juicy than the moderate juicy, less juicy, and a dry drug. So this is the class 1, class 2, class 3, and the class 4. He said that if we take the juice of fresh indigenous plant and add some alcohol in it, then we can keep that medicinal properties for a longer period of time. तो उन्होंने उसमें प्रोसीजर भी दी है कि first we have to collect the fresh plant, then mix equal amount of alcohol in the class 1, then express the juice and add some alcohol, keep it for the 24 hours. Deposition of fibrinous and albuminous matter will be there at the bottom. Then the superlatent fluid is decanted off. We know the decantation process, and the fermentation is prevented by alcohol. Keep this bottle close, away from the sunlight and heat and the strong smelling substances. So in this way he explained the preparation of mother tincture by his own way. So class 1 का कैसे है, class 2 का कैसे है, like this he explained in this aphorism. Then further he described the methods of drug preparation from mucilaginous substances. So this is about the class 1, and now this is the class 2, because in the class 1 we are not taking the mucilaginous substances. So in the class 2, if the substance is mucilaginous, then what we have to do, or if they are exotic generally, so what we have to do, it is difficult to secure that exotic plants. So in the fresh form, so they can be collected dry. So in example like Ethusa or the symphytum, in which the large amount of alcohol is required to extract that juice. He said in the less juicy plant, तो ये हो गया class 2 का. If they are अगर exotic है तो we have to use it immediately. Then he said in the less juicy plant, that is the class 3rd, कि यहाँ पे आपको और ज़्यादा अल्कोहल ऐड करना पड़ेगा, because we need the more amount of the drug substance. और ये क्या हो गया अभी, ये हो गया most juicy, this is the moderate juicy, and this is the less juicy. So example is oleander and the sabana, कि यहाँ पे ये least juicy है, यहाँ पे हमको double the amount of alcohol we have to add. We need to pound it the whole material first into the pearl and then add double amount of alcohol So the juice is combined with it, and now this plant juice is mixed with the alcohol. Then he said about the exotic plants and the dry drug substance. So exotic plant we have to collect dried only, and in the dry drug substance we have to add the more amount of the mother alcohol, so that we can get the more amount of the alcohol. Development for the drug of the drug power. So it is given in the aphorism number 269. So he said in the 269 there is a dynamization of the drug substance. Sorry. In this aphorism, Dr. Haniman discussed that a mechanical method we can increase the medicinal properties by crude drug substance, even those substances which are inert and possess a less medicinal power on human body. So in 269, he explained the homeopathic system of medicine develops spirit-like medicinal power of crude drug substances to be unparalleled degree by process which we can have been attempted before, and which causes medicines to penetrate the body, and thus we became to become more efficacious and remedial. It is applicable even to those substances which in their crude state have no evidence of slightest medicinal power on the human body. So in this way we are doing the dynamization and we are increasing the capacity of that crude drug substance. In the aphorism number 270, 271, he has explained the method of dynamization in the centesimal scale, in the centesimal scale. And in the 271, he explained the physician should have the knowledge about this scale when he is administrating this remedy. So what he has given in the 270, the 2 drops of fresh vegetable juice is mixed with the equal part of the alcohol and diluted with the 90 drops of alcohol and potentized by 2 succussions. So this will develop the power of potency. So he explained here the ninth class key where the evaporation of the fresh drug substance is possible 2 is to 98 proportion. So in this way he explained here the centesimal scale. Now in the aphorism number 272, he has given the administration of the single remedy importance. So we should give the single medicine to the patient. We should not treat the patient more than the one medicine. Single simple medicinal substance we should use at a time. So all these things we are getting it from the organon of medicine. So we will take a short recap of it. So how our pharmacy is related to the organon of medicine? As we know, there is no book, separate book for the pharmacy. We have to depend upon the knowledge of organon. Organon means it is the scientific way of investigation of what? Of medicine. So we are investigating the medicine scientifically. So here for the investigation, we should know the preparation of medicine. We should know its genuineness. We should know what active principles are present in the medicine and how these active principles are useful for the treatment of the disease and how to administer that medicine. So from preparation up to the administration, all the information is given from the aphorism number 264 to 272, and after that also we explain the doses of the medicine. So the organon of medicine is the core, or this is the Bible, this is the Gita, this is the whole and soul direction, this is the Quran of our homeopathy. So we should always follow all the rules and regulations which are given in the organon of medicine while we are treating the patient. The organ of medicine is the core thing. Without the knowledge of all these things. So in from the 1st of August, as you are will you enter into the second year. So from the second year, you will get the different aphorisms of the organon. So from the very first aphorism, it is related to the mission of physician. So what is your mission? What knowledges you should have? How you have to treat the patient? How the medicine should be selected? So always remember the two S in the second year. The medicine should be similar and the medicine should be a stronger one. तो ये सब knowledge हमको है, but you when you are applying to the patient, then it is the art, that is your skill. So in the first year को अगर आपको को रिलेट करना है ऑर्गेनन से, तो ऑर्गेनन में आपको प्रिपरेशन से लेके एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन तक के एफोरिज्म्स आपको पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. सो ऑल दिस थिंग्स, ये जो एफोरिज्म है, ये जो अभी आप फर्स्ट ईयर में पढ़ रहे हो in the with this topic, you will again read it in the third year. ये सब जो प्रिपरेशन ऑफ मेडिसिन के पूरे एफोरिज्म्स आपको फिर से थर्ड ईयर में पढ़ने हैं. So in the aphorism number 264, he explained the physician's responsibility. He has to give the genuine medicine to the patient. लेकिन at the same time हम लोग बोल सकते हैं कि पेशेंट को भी सप्लाई जेन्युइन मेडिसिन का ही होना चाहिए. पहले ऐसा कुछ नहीं था सप्लाई वगैरह. द फिजिशियन आर प्रिपेयरिंग देयर मेडिसिन बाय देयर ओन, सो जेन्युइननेस का प्रॉब्लम वहाँ पे नहीं आता था. They are giving the genuine medicine to the patient. And hence he said that the physician must provide the genuine medicine to the patient so that he can rely upon the therapeutic power and the patient will get the result. लेकिन अभी हम ऐसा भी बोल सकते हैं कि genuine medicine should be supplied to the physician, otherwise this will obstruct the cure. Now in the aphorism number 265, he explained the employment of correct medicine. We should give the proper similar medicine, stronger medicine to the patient, so that the artificial disease को हम annihilate कर सकते हैं with the help of artificial disease. Natural disease को easily combat कर सकता है artificial disease. In the aphorism number 266, he has given the different sources, that is the vegetable source and the animal source, and he said that he in their raw state they possesses the medicinal properties. In the aphorism number 267 and 268, he has given the preparation of medicine from the vegetable kingdom. So he explained here the four classes that we have seen. So in the aphorism number 267, he explained the native plant, the indigenous plant का उन्होंने explain किया है how they should be prepared, and the ratio is 1:1. Then he in the 268 he explained the if the medicines they are exotic, जैसे पहले उन्होंने native किया वैसे ही exotic, so we can use it in the dry form. Then in the aphorism number 267 के footnote में उन्होंने explain किया है कि if the medicines prepared from the plants containing thick mucus or the albumin, तो यहाँ पे symphytum का example उन्होंने दिया है कि these are the freshly expressed juice, one part which is mixed with the two parts of alcohol. So we know this class कि if the क्या बोलते हैं उसको, the juice part is decreases, we have to increase the amount of alcohol. Then in the aphorism number 267 के ही footnote में उन्होंने दिया है कि if they deficient of juice, बहुत ही कम juice है, तो again we have to add the double quantity of alcohol. So we have seen all these things in the last lecture in the old method में कि कैसे moisture decrease होता है, so quantity of alcohol increases. So he has given these four classes in the aphorism number 266, 267 और उसके footnote में. So less juicy है तो क्या करना है, moderate juicy है तो क्या करना है, most juicy है तो क्या करना है, and if they are dry तो उसमें क्या करना है. So we have to add double quantity of alcohol. Then in the aphorism number 269, he explained the dynamization, how the dynamization is important, what is dynamization, what we are doing in the dynamization. So we are increasing the latent curative power of the medicine. Then he explained the scale of dynamization, that is the centesimal scale. He explained how we have to take the ratio for that scale. Now we have seen the three types of scale. So here your first question: what are the three scales that we are using in the homeopathy? And second question is that write down the difference between the centesimal scale and the decimal scale. The second thing, that in the aphorism number 272, we explain the administration of the single remedy. What are the importance and why we should give the single medicine to the patient. So this reason also we have studied in the posology. So all these points we are getting it from the organon of medicine, as we do not have any reference book. So we have seen the three topics in the scope of homeopathic pharmacy related to the materia medica, related to the national economy, and related to the organon. So scope of homeopathic pharmacy in relation to materia medica, we are giving the different sources. We are giving the preparation of medicine. We are preparing the medicine and then it is entered into the materia medica pura. We are doing the potentization, then we are giving the potency to the patient. We are doing the drug proving, then only the patient, then only that medicine is entering into the materia medica pura. We are giving the knowledge of dose, and we are also giving the knowledge of proper prescription writing. Then only the physician can write, and then only the patient is getting the relief. We are also comparing the morphological characters of the plant, and hence the materia medica is developed. So in this way, the materia medica and the homeopathic pharmacy, they are the integral part. It is a part and parcel of each other. Now we have seen the scope of homeopathic pharmacy in relation to the national economy, कि कैसे gross national productivity जो है it is useful for the medical facilities. So we have to decrease it by giving the more awareness of the homeopathic medicine, because we only required 12% और 85% जो है वो लगते हैं एलोपैथी के लिए. So ये 12% भी अगर हम कम कर सकते हैं, then we can decreases the burden on the national economy. So awareness हमको चाहिए. We should use our medicines. We should treat the patient properly so that the patient number will increase, and ultimately the expenditure will decrease, because our medicines are less costly, vehicles are less costly, our medicine are having the long shelf life than the simple medicine we are using, which if you are using the proper medicine, proper dose, then will not have any side effect. So in this way we can decrease the burden of medical facilities जो है गवर्नमेंट को वहाँ कम कर सकते हैं. And now this is the right time to do all these activities. So homeopathy drug अगर हम patient को देते हैं in the mild symptoms, in the moderate symptoms, then it is beneficial to the patient, it is beneficial ultimately for the government. तो उसका expenditure थोड़ा सा कम हो जाएगा. Then we have seen the scope of homeopathic pharmacy in relation to the organon of medicine. Yes, this is our Gita, this is our Bible, this is our Quran, this is our the whole and soul guiding book, from where we are getting the knowledge of preparation of medicine, dynamization of medicine, and the administration of medicine. So we have seen here the different aphorisms in which Dr. Hanuman has explained the all these things: preparation, dynamization, posology, and the administration of medicine. So in this way, from the organon, we are, and he also explained the preparation in the first 4 classes. So we are getting all these knowledges by the organon of medicine. So homeopathic pharmacy is related to the materia medica. It is again related to the national economy, and this is related to the organon of medicine. So this completes the scope of homeopathy chapter. If you have any difficulty, you can ask anytime, and you have to give me the answers of 2 questions. First one is the difference between the centesimal and the decimal scale, and what types of scales we are using in the homeopathy. Okay, with that we have to write the difference. Okay.